Right, afternoon everyone, welcome to another video. My name's Paul Coe. Now, something a little bit different this afternoon. I've had a couple of requests from people who are looking to run their first 50 mile ultra next year, and they said to me, what sort of things do you need to pack on a 50 miler? So what I thought I would do, as I'm doing the Centurion Chiltern 50 this weekend, I'm in the process of sorting out the bag for the weekend, what I'm going to need, what I need to take. So I thought now is probably a good time to just go over some of the things that you will need on a 50 miler. So I'm going to go over the sort of things that you're going to need. There'll be two sections to this. There's going to be mandatory kit, which you have to have with you if you want to start the race. And there's also other items that maybe you might want to think about taking with you as well. Now, please remember this is aimed at the South Downs Way 50. If you are doing another 50 miler with a different race organisation, please do check the race instructions, check the website, check with the race director, make sure what you are taking is the right bits and pieces, because if it isn't, you've got a bit of a problem. So every race is different, every running company has different ideas about the sort of things that you're going to have. So this is aimed purely at the Centurion Running South Downs Way 50, which takes place in April next year. First of all, mandatory kit. You need to have these items in your bag. At registration for the South Downs Way 50, your bag will be checked. They don't check every single item, but they will be checking certain things. And if you haven't got them in your bag, they won't let you have your race number. So you're either going to have to find one from somewhere or purchase something at registration to get around that problem. Before I start with what you need, I'm going to move the camera down here. Now, first of all, before I get to items that you're going to need, obviously you're going to need to make sure you've got a backpack or a hydration vest, as we call them nowadays, capable of carrying any bits and pieces. Now this is the one, this Salomon S-Lab set was the one that I had been using. I still use it for marathons, but as of April this year, I've been using this Ultimate Direction. It's called a mountain vest, purely because I've got a zipped compartment as the main compartment. The Salomon is great, but it doesn't have a zip. It's just got a little clip there, and I was a bit worried about certain things falling out of there. I know they won't, but you panic. So you're going to need something like this. There are lots of options out there, so make sure you've got a hydration vest of some kind. So first of all, item number one that you will need for the South Downs Way 50, a fully charged mobile phone. Goes without saying. You'll need to make sure you've got the telephone numbers of the race medic and race director in your address book or your phone book, just in case you have a problem and you need some assistance. So that's the first thing that you will need. Very important. Number two, water bottles or a hydration bladder capable of carrying a minimum of 1 litre of fluid. Now I use these Ultimate Direction body bottles, I think they're called. These carry 500 mils, so I carry 2 of those. There are lots of options that you can use there. If you want to have a hydration bladder in the back of your bag, fine, that's perfectly acceptable. But that's what I use at the minute, the body bottles. I've just ordered another one because I'd split. I've got 2 of these. One of them's got a split in, so I've just got another one on order. So that covers that. That's a litre of water or fluid. Survival blanket, 1.4 mil times 2 mil minimum. That is basically one of these. Space blanket, survival blanket, whatever you want to use it for. Purely because if you get lost, if you have a problem, you can use that to keep yourself warm. It's amazing how warm these things are when you wrap them around yourself. So that's that as well. Waterproof jacket. I don't have that in this bag. It's upstairs, but a waterproof jacket, very important. The waterproof jacket, make sure it has taped seams. If it's water resistant or wind resistant, that's not waterproof. So it needs to have tape seams, purely to keep the water out. Excellent. The next item is a whistle, which I've got on my bag. Most bags have a whistle on there, but if you haven't, make sure you've got one of those. A head torch and a backup head torch or light source, which I've got. I use these two Petzl head torches. That's the main one, and there's a backup as well. Obviously, depending on how quickly you will be running the South Downs 50, with a 13-hour cut-off, the chances are it will be dark towards the end. If you're going to be 12 hours or so out of a 13-hour time limit, it's going to be dark, and you're going to need this towards the end, and they will be checked on the morning of the race at registration. And obviously a backup source in case your main one runs out. Warm hat, beanie or a buff. So a buff or a beanie, it goes without saying that it can get pretty cold. Even in April, once it's 6-7 o'clock in the evening, it's surprising how quickly it can get cold. So that will obviously keep you warm. So that can go in your bag somewhere for emergencies. Gloves, which I've got here somewhere. Same reason. And a long sleeve base layer or fleece top. Now this needs to be in a dry bag or waterproof bag in the bottom of your backpack. Now you can use a bag of whatever kind you like. I've got one of these dry bags that I use, these things here, which fold up very, very small and fit in your bag. So you would put your base layer in there. Please note that your base layer needs to be, it sounds a bit daft, but it still needs to be in your bag at the end of the race. So if you want a base layer to wear during the race, you're going to need to have two, because this one needs to stay in there purely as an emergency situation. That goes in there as well. And lastly, the race will be cupless. Obviously you will have your bottles which can be refilled at aid stations, but you will need one of these, a cup, or soft cups as they're called, purely because at the aid station they will refill these cups with fluid, whatever it is that you want. So you fill your bottles up and take with you, but if you want a quick drink, you need a cup to fill. There are no bottles, there are no water bottles or cups on the aid station for you to take and have a sip. So you'll need one of these. These are pretty cheap. You can get these for £3 or £4, maybe £5 online from various places. Worth doing, and obviously put that somewhere where you can reach it in your pocket there, nice and straightforward. That's pretty much it. It is recommended but not mandatory to have some sort of route map in case you get lost, and maybe a compass. If you've got a route on your watch, that's absolutely fine. Try not to rely on a route on your phone, purely in case your phone runs out of battery. So if you're worried about the route, you could always take a paper map of some kind, a hard copy that you can use to, just in case you get lost or you have a few problems, you want to see where you are. So that's mandatory kit. That's pretty much everything that you'll need to get onto the start line and get your number. There are other things that you might want to think about as well, purely optional, but you might think they're necessary. One of the things is one of these. Maybe you can see it in the dark. A power bank, or whatever it is that they're called. A power bank. This will allow certain items to be charged while you're out there on the course. So that could be a head torch, that could be a mobile phone. My watch that I use, which is a Garmin Fenix 5X, I can charge that while I'm running and continue the exercise, or the activity will keep going despite the fact it's charging. So if you were doing a big ultra and you were following a map on your watch, you might find your watch gets a bit dead for battery. So assuming your watch can do so, it might be worth having one of these just to charge your watch if you can. your phone, your head torch, you certainly don't want that running out of charge. Might be worth putting one of those for the sake of whatever weight that is. Put one of those in there as well. You might decide that you want to put maybe first aid in there as well, some plasters, anything, just in case you have an incident, fall over. Now food, I don't want to sort of give people lectures on what you should be taking, because everyone's different. Some things work for some people, some don't work for others. So I tend to go a little bit over the top when I'm doing an ultra. I tend to take way more stuff than I need, purely because I don't want to run out of food. I don't want to be 6 miles from an aid station and I'm suddenly really low on energy and I need something. The South Downs 50 I think has got 6 or 7 aid stations, which should be enough, but you might want to take things with you as well. There will be food, there will be savoury sandwiches, there will be watermelon, tomatoes, all sorts of bits and pieces, crisps. But you might want to pack some things in case as well, just in case. You never know, you might need something extra, or you might just like stick to your own stuff. Now, I don't want to go into what food you should be using, because like I say, everyone is different, and everyone reacts differently to different things. So as far as food is concerned, now gels, I used to use these ISO gels, which are perfectly fine. I've started recently to start using these goo gels, which seem to work for me. They're also quite small, so they're pretty easy to put in your bag. I can put literally 7 or 8 of those in that pocket, and they're easy for me to reach as and when I want to. But like I say, these are what I use. They're not for everybody. Some people get on with them, some don't. Some might prefer something else. Some might not prefer gels at all. So that's an option. But you might want to take something like that. Food. As far as food is concerned, I mean, I would normally take a couple of sandwiches out. I would normally take things like Kendal mint cake, maybe flapjack, OT sort of bars, those sort of things, which seem to work for me. They don't work for everybody, but they're worth a look. I've just discovered these new things which I really like. These Graze Superfood Bites. I mean, that's what I use. Again, they're pretty easy. I mean, they're not very big. They're pretty easy to put away, should you need something like that as well. And as far as fluid is concerned, like I say, I have 2 water bottles. I would normally put... Now I use something called Tailwind, which are these sachets, which basically is mixed with water. Now these are supposed to give you everything that you need to keep running. I would normally take a few of those out with me. The South Downs Way 50 does give you Tailwind at the aid stations as well, so you might not necessarily need to carry a lot of these, but I tend to carry a few spares as well. And I would normally, I like to use, I don't like water, I don't really get on with water on its own, so I use these hydration kind of tablets because I quite like the flavour. There's various ones you can use just to give me a bit of something. So I would have water and maybe some electrolyte tablets in one and Tailwind in the other. But again, that's entirely up to you. You can use water, you can use Coke, you can use whatever you want to, and you can refill at aid stations during the race as well. So if you like these, you might want to take a few of these with you to mix with water as and when you refill them. You might want to think about packing a bag for the end of the race. Again, April might be a wonderful hot day, but if it's 8 o'clock at night and you finished and you're a bit cold, you might want to pack a bag with some bits and pieces in for the finishing area. So you might want to think about maybe a nice warm jumper, a coat, maybe a complete change of clothes to keep you warm. I finished the North Downs 50 and got cold very, very quickly. So you might want to think about that. Just some clothing to put on. You can sweat all day in the hot sun and then get quite cold when you finish. So you might want to think about clothes. You might want to think about 1 or 2 bits of food or drinks to put in your bag for the end. I know from experience you can't beat a nice bottle of Coke at the end after you just run 50 miles. So food, drinks, clothes, maybe a towel if you want to have a shower, if there are facilities there as well. So the key things are, number 1, make sure you have your mandatory kit. Check out the website, Centurion running website, and just make sure you've got everything. Have a think about what you want to be using on the day as far as nutrition is concerned. Make sure you practice it and try it out before the race. Don't suddenly buy a load of stuff a week before and start using it. So in your training, try the gels, try the flapjacks, the energy bars, the drinks, whatever it might be. Get used to them and make sure that they don't upset your stomach. I think that's everything. The only other thing to note with the South Downs Way 50 is you do have the option to collect your race number on the Friday evening rather than the Saturday morning. Now, that is quite a useful thing, because when you go to kit check on a Saturday morning, you have to show them your bag, show them various items. So the issue with that is that you spent all of Friday packing your bag. You turn up to the race registration on Saturday morning and you have to take most of it out to get bits out to show them. So this year I did go and get my number on a Friday night, get through kit check, and then I'm able to pack my bag on a Friday night, get everything in there, and then when I get up Saturday morning I can just turn up and go. It's not ideal to pack everything and then have to get it all out of the bag and then repack it on a Saturday morning and then panic. So that's what I do. It's entirely optional, whatever you want to do. And that's it, I think. I can't think of anything else that I need to mention other than enjoy the race. 50 miles is a long way. Just enjoy it. And if you're worried that it's a long way, just think about checkpoints. Just think about how far have I got to the next checkpoint. I think if you think of it that way, it does break things down a little bit. Rather than at 28 miles thinking, oh, I've got 22 more miles to go. Just think, well, I've got 5 miles to the next aid station. Regroup, have some food, refuel, take a break, off again, and then there's probably only another 6 miles to get on the aid station. So that worked for me quite well, and that might be something to think about going forward. So that's it. Thank you for watching. There will be more videos to come, and I am doing the Chiltern Wonderland 50 this weekend, which I will film. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos. If you've got anything that you want to know, any questions, anything you want to know about, let me know, and I will be sure to come back and let you all know. So thanks for watching. Happy running, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.